So now we have the very important sound, the very important British sound, the schwa sound. Now maybe you've heard of this, maybe you know what it is, maybe you know how to do it, but this sound is so important to British English. I always say it's the heart of British English. It's everywhere, and we need it. We need the schwa sound, and you really need to focus in this lesson to learn it and try to understand why we use it. Okay, so this is used in other languages. It's also used in American, but it's really British. It's just everywhere in British English. Okay, so the sound is uh. Now you'll see my mouth is so relaxed, and the reason why, this is a lazy sound, because we're lazy. British English speakers, we're lazy, so we use this sound almost as like a shortcut to make our words easier to pronounce. And it's used in many different ways. Okay, so the sound is uh. My mouth is relaxed. My tongue is central. It's just in the middle of my mouth. It's not really doing anything. Okay, and that's why we do it. Let's go over and let's look at how we do it, when we do it, everything about the lovely schwa sound. And this will make you sound so much more British. So here we are, this is where the sound is, okay, so it's in the middle of the mouth, the tongue, which means that we have this kind of relaxed central shape with the mouth, very relaxed shape, okay, and that sound, okay, so it's at the beginning of this word. Instead of being ago, it's actually ago, ago, okay, the stress is on go. Repeat after me, ago, ago. So it's really important that you get this almost exactly the same as me, and a lot of people try too hard to get this sound correct, but it's really just such a lazy sound. We don't have to try hard. It's actually a sound that's here to help you, okay? So yeah, this is what it looks like. It's like an upside down E, and you're going to see this throughout this course so much in the words that I show you. And it's only right that we learn this sound right at the beginning, okay, because it's everywhere. So the schwa sound, okay, the schwa sound, upside down E, central, so the tongue is in the center of the mouth is half open, it's just relaxed, okay, very relaxed shape with the mouth, and we voice the sound, okay, and it's a short vowel sound, okay, short vowel sound. So we'll just go over here and just have a look here. What I mean by this, so it's a lazy vowel sound, like I said. Now, when we have words, maybe if they have a couple syllables, there will always be one stressed syllable. We've already talked about this. And when there's one stressed syllable, sometimes the other syllable will have a vowel sound which is weak. We can't really be bothered to pronounce it. So we might replace it with a schwa sound. A perfect example of this would be this word. Okay, the word here. Now, how do you pronounce this word? I just want you to say this to me firstly. Just say it. Now, does it sound like how I say it? Police. 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 Now, the stressed syllable is here. So it has two syllables, okay? P and lease, or po and lease. Okay, the stressed syllable is here, and we know that we really make that stressed syllable stronger, louder, longer sometimes, okay? And there's already a vowel sound there. Now here, we do have another vowel sound, and in British English, we don't really want to pronounce the full vowel sound. So in this situation, this is where we do this lazy vowel sound, and it will become p instead of po. So it would be police. It takes a lot of practice to learn why we do this, but really, like I said, it's for those unstressed vowels in a word. But there are actually 3 situations for where we pronounce the schwa sound. Before we learn those 3 different rules, I want you to practice with me once, okay? Let's try that word again. Police. Police. Okay, so it's a very relaxed sound. We don't have to do much to make this sound. So here we are. Here are 1, 2, 3 rules for when we pronounce the schwa sound, when we use it. Okay. Of course, only naturally we will start with number 1. And here we are. Okay, number 1. So you should know, and a lot of foreign language learners do this also, because this is how they learn it in school, to spell things to say things how they're spelt. And that's what Americans tend to do when words finish with ER. Now, the letter R is not used as much in British English, the sound, the sound, okay? So, ER, maybe you would pronounce this word as ever, like an American, ever, with an R, okay? Or better, better, as an American would, okay? But, in British English, we will actually pronounce this with a schwa sound. So, every time a word finishes, not just with ER, if it's OR, RE, so basically whenever it's an sound at the end of a word, we don't pronounce that R, we would actually use a schwa sound. So instead of being ever, it will actually be ever. Ever. So we're going from that V into opening the mouth slightly and putting that tongue in the middle of the mouth, very relaxed. Ever. Ever. Let's just try a few more words here. We have better, better, t, better. Water, water. Teacher, teacher. Doctor, doctor. And this one has a schwa at the beginning, and I will explain why in number 2. So try and get the schwa here also. It would be ud, ud, ud. Adventure, adventure. So just remember, any time a word finishes with we will pronounce it with an okay? Anything, okay? So this R sound is just not very special to British English. We will use an So this is when words finish with it, of course, okay? And now I just want to explain a few more things. So this word adventure, it begins with a schwa sound. The reason why, just like I said earlier with police, okay, the stressed syllable is on then. We have 3 syllables here. Ad, then, ch. The stress is on then. So we have that word which finishes with ch. Okay, we know that has the schwa sound there. And at the beginning, this A is not in the stressed syllable. So in some situations, when a vowel is not stressed, yes, we will pronounce it with a schwa, and it will become adventure, not adventure. It will be adventure, adventure. Okay, and we're going to learn a little bit more about this in part 2. So number 2, words with weak, unstressed syllables. Just like I explained just now, okay, when there's a stressed syllable, maybe the other vowel will occasionally be pronounced with a schwa, okay? So the weak syllable can turn into a schwa. We've already done this one here, so let's just take a quick look. We have police, police. Now remember, there's not much to learn for that sound. You just open your mouth slightly, it's very relaxed, and the tongue just stays in the middle of the mouth. Police. This one here, the stress is on te, so that means the vowel here will become kun. Taken. Next word, the stress is on bout, so it will be about. About. Here, the stress is on pen, so sul, pencil, sul. Now, if there are any Italians watching, my Italian students go crazy when I say this. We don't pronounce it like pasta, or however the Italians pronounce it. We will actually schwa the last sound here, because the stress is on pass, so the second syllable, t, t. pasta. Okay, let's just go through a few more. So the stress is on go, so it would be ago. Here the stress is on cyst, so we'd say persist. Here the stress is on ought, so support. Support. Here, my country. The stress is on ing, so glund. England. Und. Here, the stress is on ho, so it won't be holiday, it will be holiday. 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 Here the stress is on jest. Suggest. Suggest. And here the stress is on round. Here you see round. We know the stress is here, so the first vowel might become around. Finally, the last one. The stress is on stand. So some people might think that we have to put the schwa on this vowel, but no, it's actually going here. Number one, because it's an ER, and remember, ER isn't it's So, understand. 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 Okay, schwa sound is so important in these words. Now, my best technique for learning when we do this is really just looking for words that have, more than one syllable, and looking for that stressed syllable. So you can use a dictionary and just look for these indicators that a vowel is an area is stressed of a word, a syllable, and 9 times out of 10 a vowel that's not stressed in a word will become a schwa sound. Not every time, but most of the time, okay? So look out for that, practice, listen to people, and you will find it more, okay? Number 3, this is really important, and we will have already covered this if you watch the video about sentence stress and how it works, how we speak in English in our sentences. The first few are quite easy, so we know that A, we don't pronounce it as A, we pronounce it as Number one, because it's easier, and because the letter A, the word A, comes up a lot in sentences. So instead of saying a lot, we'd say a lot. It's just easier. So let's just try this sentence, and it's a question. It's a yes-no question, so the tone goes up. Do you have a dog? Do you have a dog? So that is a schwa, And we should also know that the word the can sometimes be pronounced as the if it's before a word that begins with a vowel, but most of the time the probably comes before a word that begins with a consonant, and in that situation we would say the. So we've got the th sound here, and after that we have the schwa, the. Okay. Also, of. Okay. When it's a function word, remember function words are words that are not important in a sentence. We want to get through them fast. So, instead of saying I have a cup of tea, I would actually just say I have a cup of tea. Cup of tea. Cup of tea. Okay, that schwa is really easy to pronounce, so make sure you just get used to making it. Very relaxed shape with the mouth, tongue just sitting in the middle of the mouth. Cup of tea. Also, the word for can often become f. Once again, when it's a function word. So if for is not stressed, it will become f. So here, this will actually be for Christmas. For Christmas. And remember, it's a very short vowel sound, so it's quick. For Christmas. So the whole question here It's an open question, so the tone will go down on the last word, on the unstressed syllable. So, what did you do for Christmas? What did you do for Christmas? For Christmas. Okay? And this is how British people pronounce it. Everybody. We pronounce it like this, unless we're stressing for, and then it would be pronounced as for. Okay? But usually, for. And also the word to. Instead of saying, I'm going to London, we could actually say, I'm going to London. T. I'm going to London tomorrow. I'm going to London tomorrow. One more time. I'm going to London tomorrow. I'm going to London tomorrow. So, yes, there are other function words. These aren't the only function words in English, but mostly when we have a function word and it has a vowel in it, we will quite often just turn that into a, okay? Or we'll combine the consonant with an For example, here, we still pronounce the F, but we do f. Okay, so it does happen with other words, and you will hear it so much when I speak, when anybody else speaks, okay? Function words. So it's just the weak form of a word. Now I'm going to introduce you to your first part of connected speech here. Okay, so when we have a schwa sound, for example, what are you doing for Christmas? Just say that one to me one more time. What are you doing for Christmas? Now we know that, like I explained earlier, the word for can become f if it's a function word. But that's because Christmas begins with a consonant. It might get a bit confusing here, and we will learn this in the connected speech part of this course, but if the next word begins with a vowel, okay, and we have the word for, we will actually pronounce the R to join us to the next word. So not here, because Christmas begins with a consonant. It begins with C. So it will be for Christmas. But here, Easter begins with an E. And remember, Easter also finishes with a schwa sound. Easter. Okay? So we'll actually remove the schwa sound here, and we'll actually say for Easter. For Easter. What are you doing for Easter? And these are also weak forms. What are you doing for Easter? For Easter. And the reason we do this is because Easter begins with a vowel and for finishes with an R, and the R helps us get to the next word, because it's difficult to go from a vowel sound to another vowel sound, and that's why we do it. Like I said, we're lazy. We're lazy. So the R helps us get to the next word, because it's easier to go from a consonant to a vowel. But here we have consonant, consonant, for Christmas, for Easter. Repeat after me. For Christmas, for Easter. So I hope you understand that anytime we have for, usually we don't pronounce the R, but if there's a vowel at the beginning of the next word, we will use the R to get to the next word. Okay? So that's all I'm going to teach you in this video for the schwa sound. We're going to do a little exercise after this, and we're going to practice the weak forms a little bit more. Okay? So we have 10 sentences here, and we're going to practice getting that weak form in a word, and we're going to break down all of these sentences. Okay? Anyway, that is the schwa sound. I hope you found it useful. Very, very difficult to get used to doing it if it's not very normal for you. You see, I just did it then. For you, not for you. Okay? So it happens so much. I'm doing it all the time, okay? So yeah, focus on that schwa sound. I want you to take some time. Don't study too many of the next videos. You just need to really take some time to get used to this schwa sound, because it's what joins everything together. You need to understand how we use it, okay? Now you will experience it more throughout this course. So when you are ready, when you've taken some time to practice, you can go on to the next video, okay?